Xycor, the strongest son of Goku, killed by Vegito Part 3. Wow, in Filipino.
Nandito na tayo sa ating part 3 ng ating tinatawag na reaction, Tagalog version ng ARJ na tinatawag na masterpiece sa ating Ultra Vegito. At ito, simulan na natin para hindi tayo magtagal.
You pay! Instantly then rushing straight for Xycor.
At dito tayo natapos doon sa tinatawag na nalaman ni Vegito ang ginawa ni Xycor. Kaya ito na yung ating 3-part series ng napakaganda, napakalupit na ARJ Ultra Vegito Kill Xycor.
With vengeance on his mind. Yeah! And eventually, he does land on the face of Xycor. But unfortunately, he doesn't seem to do much, with the hybrid Saiyan just smiling as he gets hit, letting out...
Saan ka naman nakakita? Sinuntok ka, nakangiti ka lang at nakatingin pa.
Interesting. So you two are one of Father's kind. For a moment, puzzling Vegito as he thinks, what the hell? With my level of power now, this can't be! Sorry, Saiyan.
Kaya ibig sabihin doon eto nasa base form pa lang dito si Xycor, pero napakalakas na, pero dito si Ultra Vegito, Super Saiyan na siya.
But this is reality. As Xycor then quickly moves away Vegito's fist before... Yeah! Buzz off!
Yun ang malupit. Walastik na yan. Ninoo at mukha ang tinamaan sa bugang ilong.
Brutally then headbutting Vegito straight in the face, point blank. Sending the God Killer flying backwards in pain as blood shoots out of his grimmest mouth. Surprised your skull didn't burst from that. Let's test just how sturdy you
Ay, grabe. Ibig sabihin, yung tira pa lang yun dahil nasubukan ni Xycor gaano siya kalakas sa ganung tinatawag na technique. Dapat sumabog daw yung ulo.
Swiping his arm back with a closing palm with what looks like an energy ball beginning to be produced.
Matindi talaga to si Xycor. Pamatay ka agad yung binitawan. Walastik butas yata to.
And unbelievably with one blast, straight out of the playbook of Vegeta, Xycor blasts Vegito straight through his torso.
Grabe. Ilang beses na ba nangyari to kay Goku na laging nabubutas yung katawan niya? Yan din na nangyari sa kanya nang tinira siya ni Piccolo
And instantly, in the aftermath, a violent scene of Vegito, now back in base, is seen, wide-eyed, floating back, with of course now a gaping wide hole in the middle of his body, spewing blood all over, as we see a peek right through onto the other side.
Kaya kung hindi nangyari na na-absorb ni Ultra Vegito si Majin Buu, ay nako, matagal nang natalo tong si Ultra Vegito sa dami ng malalakas na kalaban.
Eventually leaving the practically dead Vegito to land on his back in silence, as Xycor watches on confirming his kill. And now looking down on his latest victim, an unimpressed Xycor would let out, Saiyan or not, you're no different in the end to the rest.
Grabe, unimpressed Xycor. Ibig sabihin, wala man lang siyang nakuhang tinatawag na respeto kay Xycor dahil napakahina sa pakiramdam ni Xycor.
To those blonde hair and blue-eyed brats. Just as fragile and just as pathetic. And unfortunately, just like the rest of your inferior race, you two are no challenge for. But soon, with his target eliminated, Xycor turns his attention to the sky and realizes, what's this? I can smell the presence of gods here. Where am I? Not Universe 7 anymore, that's for sure. And that means... That means there's a whole lot more to kill and destroy around here.
War freak pala to. Mas matindi pa to kay Vegeta. Lahat na lang pinapatay. At ang matindi, mga gods of destruction na ang tinitira nito.
Instantly then shooting off into the sky with excitement and ferocity, leaving Vegito for dead like a thoughtless matter. And as we zoom in closer on the flying Xycor, a keen smile can be seen as he contemplates. I wonder just what strong warriors await me here. Mother always told me our universe was one of the weakest there was. Surely, a true challenge must be out there.
Kaya ang ibig sabihin, yung universe ng kanyang nanay, yun ang pinakamahina. Paano naman naging ganito kalakas tong si Xycor? Isang mahina lang pala yung universe nila. Then mahina rin yung sinasabi niyang inferior race ni Goku. O, tingnan natin kung anong mangyayari.
One greater than even father. As behind, an image of his late father in his AF clothing appears. But this
Ano kaya nakita nito ni Xycor?
smile is soon cut short once something shocking appears right in front of the eyes of Xycor. What the? How are you? Leaving the third son near enough stunned into silence as in front a very familiar hairstyle appears. And of course, once we see from Xycor's side, it is revealed to be none other than Vegito. His arms folded with a cocky smile.
Ibig sabihin, ngayon lang nakakita si Xycor ng ganitong technique o ganitong nilalang na kayang magkaroon ng regeneration.
As he lets out, that attack wasn't bad, brat. I'm starting to believe maybe you are a Saiyan after all. Welcome to the club. Before suddenly, the hole within Vegito's torso begins to transition to goo, and then eventually completely close up in true margin style.
Kaya kung pag-uusapan talaga, napaka-OP na nito ni Ultra Vegito eh. Kasi paano mo mapapatay yan ng ganyan? Kailangan talaga tirahin mo na yan hanggang sa pinakamaliit na cell gaya ng ginawa niya kay Cell tsaka Majin Buu.
Good as new! What? Leaving a bemused Xycor to now watch on in shock, never having seen anything like this, much less from a fellow Saiyan. With the shock now reaching a boiling point, Xycor would then yell out, You are no Saiyan! What are you? Answer me now! And Vegito,
Ang lakas mang-asar ng mukha pang-asar eh.
so loving the look of confusion seen on Xycor's face, would yell back, Oh, I am most definitely a Saiyan, kid. But I've heard more than once you calling us an inferior race.
Yari ka ngayon, inferior.
You know if you really were Goku-san, you do realize that would make you part Saiyan too, right? I knew you had lost the plot calling yourself Kakarot's son. I am my
Ito, mga tatay ito eh. Mga tatay, pero magtataka ka, pinagmamalaki niyang tatay niya si Goku, pero ikinahihiya niya pagiging Saiyan niya. May toyo rin to si Xycor eh.
father's son! But this passing comment denying Xycor's heritage instantly just pushes the half Saiyan over the edge as he releases a scream into the heavens before becoming surrounded in an intense ball of energy that gives even Vegito a shock. As finally, you'll eat those words, Saiyan!
Yan, yung kanyang pananamit oh, parang katulad din ng mga panahon sa Dragon Ball GT.
As suddenly, Xycor reaches an all-new form, powered up to the brim with his hair now fully spiked and black accents now longer and sharper too, as surrounding him a familiar black lightning emerges. Whoa! And initially, Vegito is immediately half confused as he comes to realize internally, wait a second, that's a Super Saiyan transformation alright, no doubt about it. His power just shot through the roof. Could he really be my son? But before Vegito can think anymore, Xycor begins his attack already enraged in his new form. Not wanting to be outdone, Vegito instantly then transforms into a form of his own, but his being Super Saiyan Blue. Let's see you handle something a little stronger than a Super Saiyan, brat. Instantly blocking Xycor's first attack. Silent Saiyan!
Naka-Super Saiyan Blue na siya pero naisahan pa rin siya ni Xycor
But despite the initial overconfidence, it's quickly interrupted by Xycor slamming his fist with speed right into the God Killer's gut. Before following up with a right hook that lands with devastating impact also. Damn! Leaving Vegito noticing the surprising strength of his foe, thinking, this kid isn't normal. He looks like he's only a Super Saiyan 2 at most, but he's keeping up with me in blue. But not trying to let up at all, Xycor continues the chase and slamming his right fist
Tinamaan na naman Naka-Super Saiyan Blue na siya Para Super Saiyan God na yun
onto Vegito once again, sending the God Killer's body instantly plummeting straight towards the ground and ready for a big crash landing. But just before Vegito lands on the planet's surface, he looks up with a cunning smile and lets out, right, that's enough playing with this kid. Time to push this to Kaioken! Shooting off instantly, just inches away from the ground, with the signature sound of Kaioken blaring off as he does so until turning his body around and slamming a soccer kick right down onto the unsuspecting Xycor. Before even quicker than Vegito before him, Xycor now lands flush with a loud crash right into a mountain face. But it's not long for the feared villain of the AF series to break out just barely. One eye open, but full of annoyance. How dare he! What kind of Saiyan form is that? Blue hair? Ridiculous! I don't know how this mortal knows my father, but he will not live to...
Ang matindi talaga dito sa mga Saiyan na to Siguro mahilig dating mga nasa saloon ng mga to. Wala sa barbershop, sa saloon. Alam nyo na ako bakit.
Tell me how! This ends here! But looking down, Vegito would just giggle, beginning to enjoy the battle with his so-called son, as he comments, looks like the kid is getting mad. He may have yet another form up his sleeve. Just what I need. Before then wiping the blood off his chin and saying with a smirk, I have to admit, there is something very familiar about fighting this guy. He's definitely got some link to Kakarot. I wonder... As Vegito thinks on the resemblance, Xycor begins powering up with a frightening roar, his power alone blowing apart any debris which covered him. Callmearj! Callmearj! But shockingly, the power-up doesn't turn out to be for a new form, but instead to do a very Goku-esque move, as a bright blue ball of energy slowly begins forming in the palms of Xycor. immediately surprising Vegito, who recognizes the attack from afar immediately and comments, "Whoa there! He knows the Kamehameha wave? This kid. He might actually have been telling the truth. My son, eh?" Before Vegito would then place his own hands to do his own Kamehameha position and say, "Well, if I was going to fight Gohan or Goten, I guess this is the way I'd end the battle too. Almost in complete synchronization, the God Killer and Xycor would both then fire off their respective energy waves at the exact same time, each with unfathomable intensity and power. Leading to a very Goku versus Vegeta scene as Xycor blasts from the ground and Vegito blasts from the sky, clashing together to create a truly planet-trembling energy beam collision. You will die like the rest of them! Causing Xycor, who has never tasted defeat, to push further and further with all his might to beat the Mystery Saiyan. While Vegito, who just continues his attack with an unbothered smirk, would say quietly, "Relax, son. Don't overestimate your abilities." But almost in a complete defiance to his would-be father, Xycor would sound off an even more thunderous roar, as his beam of energy immediately increases in power and size at the drop of a hat. Whoa! And this pushback in power is so sudden and fast, it even begins enveloping Vegito as if about to destroy him like Cell was. But all through it all, Vegito just remains smiling and calm. That is until a sinister smirk eventually reaches his face and he says, "It's a shame that this is as much as you could do. Clearly the versions of me over in your timeline were total weaklings. I bet they couldn't even use Ultra Instinct!" And suddenly, in a show of dominance, Vegito would enter his mastered Ultra Instinct form, surrounding himself in a white aura as his hair quickly changes to a silvery white in tone. Shocking Xycor as suddenly the power becomes untenable as he tries his best to push back. What? What happened? Where is this power coming from? But eventually, the power of Vegito
Ayun, durog. Kaya yan ang sinasabi, hindi yung malakas may mas malalakas talaga.
proves far too much, and Vegito's Kamehameha flattens Xycor onto the ground, his own beam now completely dissipated from before. In a massive explosion that nearly decimates the very planet they are on, Xycor is defeated, trapped under a raging sun of blue energy, covered in black lightning. And in the end, a massive dust cloud is left behind in the aftermath of the explosion, with no sign of the Demi-Saiyan until... finally,
Akalain mo, buhay pa, may natira pa, may natira.
with his body all beaten, his top torn, and leaking blood from every nook and cranny, Xycor appears, just barely able to move, and back in base form, having been well and truly defeated. But with the last of his energy, barely able to even open either of his bloodshot eyes, he mutters, How could I have been defeated?
Yan yung mga tanungan ng mga Dragon Ball na talagang patent. Ibig sabihin, trademark. Laging, how can I be defeated? Panahon pa yan ni Vegeta.
By a Saiyan. Father, who is he? But as Xycor asked this rhetorical question to his now non-existent father, Vegito would slowly descend to the ground with a small thump, before walking over slowly to the now down Xycor. And once in front of him, covered in his divine white ki, and still in his mastered Ultra Instinct form,
Rin doon si Chichi.
and in response, all he can do is grab onto his skull before...
Ayan ang matindi. Ibig sabihin pala, kahit na inabsorb ni Vegito yung mga demon, inabsorb niya si Majin Buu, may tsansa na pwedeng mag-override, pwedeng lumabas, pwedeng kontrolin si Vegito.
Out of nowhere, one horn suddenly bursts forth from his skull uninvited. Father! And immediately, without many real words being said, Vegito would instantly move his hand away from his confused son. What? What's happening? What are you doing? Before immediately then placing a palm in front of Xycor and then... Hakai!
Yan ang patay na. Biruin mo na override si Vegito, gusto niya namang buhayin niya, natalo yung katauhan ni Goku. Grabe to.
The one-horned Vegito would then out of nowhere shout the chant of the destroyers. And just like that, Xycor, the third son of Goku, the villain of Dragon Ball AF, is erased forever. His last ever words just being...
Yan na, hindi lang natin alam yung sinasabing erase forever, ha. Tingnan natin kung kaya silang buhayan ng Dragon Ball. Ewan lang, bakit si Guts Alam ko si Guts naman yata, hindi siya hinakay
Father, why? You gods will die! And once done, Vegito loses himself completely. His pupils disappearing as he screams a demonic yell, and without knowing, as if ingrained within him, claims war against the gods once again, even ones who are his own blood. But as Vegito screams, elsewhere, in a strange realm, a silhouette is seen surrounded in roaring flames. And as we get closer, we see his menacingly large, bold presence, not knowing who it could be until... Vegito! And standing, almost as equally as angry as the God Killer, is Jiren the Great. Now having been locked in the time chamber for decades, his body pumped to the max and full of uncontrollable...
Kaya